We can sit around all day and debate whether or not the 2020 election was stolen. But the reality is that we will probably never know the truth about that, even if Trump gets back to the White House. Some questions simply remain questions. But one thing is clear, and that's that Democrats are up to no good in this election cycle, and more of the American people are waking up to it. In a recent new national poll, 56% of voters believe that President Joe Biden is trying to jail Donald Trump simply to win an election. What's more telling in the polling is how many of those voters polled believe it is a concentrated effort coming directly from the White House itself and at the direction of the Biden administration. Whether or not even that happens to be true can also be debated. And even when it comes to that question, we may never have a definitive answer. But at the same time, it seems quite clear what's going on and why it is happening at all. The Democrats are cheating, or trying very hard to. We also know it is backfiring and badly. In nearly every single mock general poll, Donald Trump now leads in the race over Biden. And while polls can be subject to interpretation and not always reliable, the fact that most polls are weighted toward Democrats is something to keep in mind. If a Republican is winning in the polls, he's probably winning in the real world. On top of it all, it's the things the Democrats are going after Trump for that has made more than a few people raise their eyebrows at. None of it seems legitimate. It's a lot of innuendo and implied things, but really, where are the crimes? Where is the evidence? And why are the only people bringing any of these cases Democrats? And moreover, why are they all confirmed Trump haters? I have said it over and over again. If the Democrats believed in the success of their time in the White House, it would be the only thing that would matter. If it's all true and the Biden administration has been a glowing success, what would they have to fear with Donald Trump running? By their account, the Democrats have already proven they can lead the country. Of course, the problem is none of that is true. The Biden administration has been a complete disaster, and I think even they know it. Deep down, they know it. Otherwise, what's the threat from Donald Trump? The thing is, all of these cases have so many red flags, it's simply hard for any thinking person to ignore, which is part of what is generating the growing consensus that Biden's going after Trump solely for political reasons. The E. Jean Carroll case, for example, came from an allegation of a rape that occurred 26 years prior that absolutely no evidence was provided to prove. The person who paid her legal fees was an anti Trump billionaire. A dress she said provided proof turned out to be one not in style until 2 years after the alleged rape. There was also a TV interview, which was barred from evidence, where she said she was never raped. But of course, when it comes to Trump, you don't need to prove a case in court. You don't even necessarily need to offer a conviction because the allegation is more important than anything else. And they know that all they have to do is accuse Trump of something and the media will run with it. Call it true, and naive viewers who also hate Trump will ignore the evidence and go along with the story. In that same poll, 67% believe that all the indictments against Trump are politically motivated. 58% believe Biden has played a role. 52% believe that indictments were only brought because Trump was leading in polls. 58% believe that all of this nonsense should be dropped and it should be up to the American people to decide who becomes our next president. I think what it comes down to is that people aren't seeing the results Biden keeps saying he's gotten done, and it makes them wonder more what all this Trump chasing is really about. To make matters worse, Biden doesn't talk about the supposed accomplishments. He simply talks about the dangers electing Trump poses, while at the same time working very hard to paint the former president as the most evil man in America. And what about the New York case? Sure, New York effectively won, but based on what evidence of what wrongdoing? Trump did not do anything against the law. He did not do anything outside of what other developers always do. And the prosecutor who brought the case had many on the record meetings at the White House prior to the case. What were those conversations and why don't we know what they were? The facts are clear. The aim is to financially destroy and potentially jail Trump to get him out of their way because it is the only way they can win. I think there was cheating in 2020. Like I said, that can only be debated, and we will likely never know the truth. But what is true is that the Democrats know they can't pull the same stunt in 2024 that they pulled in 2020. So it's either lose an election or remove the guy who can actually win. And that's what they are up to. And the polls show clearly that the people know That's what the gig is.